My hearing's just better than you guys.
I mean, I'm going to be at the bottom of that list for sure.
Actually, it's really bad from years of concerts.
Yeah.
Playing in loud.
I think I told you guys I'm literally losing my hearing.
Oh. It's like a documented thing?
Otosclerosis.
I didn't know that.
I didn't tell you guys that? No.
Did you remember? Does it sound familiar?
It does.
Okay.
You maybe
he
you
couldn't hear me.
it. Welcome to Our Film Fathers Podcast, the definitive podcast about fatherhood, film, and fatherhood in film. This is Jelani, and with me as always are a guy who stole the Declaration of Independence and a guy who kidnapped the president, Martin and Brady.
180 years of searching, and I'm 3 feet away. Of all the words written here about freedom, there's a line here that's at the heart of all the others. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security. People don't talk that way anymore.
Of course someone else is after the treasure. It's the axiom of treasure hunting.
This week, we appeal to one of our core demographics, the treasure hunter and history buff dads. With National Treasure and its cash grab sequel, National Treasure: Book of Secrets, we get the full Nicolas Cage and Jerry Bruckheimer versions of history, action, treasure hunting, and code breaking. So grab the closest document to you, find the hidden treasure map on the back, and join us as we search for the truth of, or we just talk about the movies.
Yeah, we don't have to dissect anything here. This was just a good time, right?
We're not going to look at the back of the dollar bills. And
I
understand.
thought we were, I was clued up here.
You were ready to find some treasure?
My first question is, why did they, I guess I could have answered this by looking up how much it made, but how did they not make another one?
A third one?
I think
I
it's
think
in
they
the
did.
works.
There's something on Disney Plus.
Well, I think they made a show.
They made
Oh,
a
is that
show.
is that what that is?
Yeah,
Okay.
they made
But-
a show, but I think there's a third movie potentially in the works.
But now, I mean, it's been quite some
I
time.
mean, what? This was 2004 and 7. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess that's a long time.
Listen, they're still pumping out Bad Boys.
Should
And
they?
Nicolas Cage is still making movies, so yeah, bring him back
Yeah.
on.
It just, to me, felt like, well, also...
John Voight's still alive?
John Boyd is still alive.
yeah. He's definitely on the conspiracy side of things.
Oh, is he?
Oh, yeah.
He's deep
This
down the
movie
rabbit
is right. It was
Might have-
on to something.
It might have altered his entire being.
There was John Voight before this movie and after.
Yeah, when he was driving around in his car.
Driving around in John Voight's car. That's so good.
So I hadn't seen these in quite some time. Definitely had seen them both. National Treasure, the first one, still just extremely entertaining to me.
So good.
Just really hits on all the notes. And I will say, speaking of, I think before we got to our current world of what being a conspiracy theorist meant, I think I've always had a little itch for a good conspiracy
Everyone
theory.
does. Like we said, like all dudes love the concept of a treasure hunt, of a conspiracy theory, of something, but you know, there's some whacked out ones.
Yes,
now.
things
like
have
there's
vaulted.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, before when it was just kind of fun to be like, oh,
Well, I think
maybe
it
Area
always
51 does exist.
I think
right?
it always was one of those things when when some of this stuff started becoming a little more, this politicized version of conspiracy started to come up. I'm like, I think my first reaction was, I totally get how someone could get sucked into this.
Oh, yeah.
Because I very much can get my interest piqued by a perspective or an idea that maybe there's something more to something. I'm like, oh,
Well,
really?
it used to be when you had a stupid idea, your friends would tell you it was a stupid idea. Now you go home and you Google it and you find 80,000 other people that had that same stupid idea and validate you.
And your aunt's like, I've been telling you this for years. But it really is a purely, I want to say Jerry Bruckheimer-esque movie because it just is pure entertainment and he right up their alley.
And this was a Jelani idea.
Yeah.
So what'd you think?
I love these types of movies. Like it gives me all the feels of nostalgia to the Indiana Jones movies, the Romancing the Stone, Jewel of the Nile, even Goonies.
Goonies, yeah.
Right? Like, and then, like you said, Brady, it's got the secret society, the conspiracy theory of, there's more than meets the eye. Not to borrow from somebody else, but yeah, more like everything is not what it seems, and like the Dan Brown series is
the Da Vinci Code,
Da Vinci Code,
Angels
and all
and
of
Demons.
those.
Yeah, those are great. I read all those books.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've read all
Just
of
read
it.
Origins.
Really enjoyed that book, Da Vinci Code, for sure.
Yeah, and it's just like those are things that like you said, if you have a story that goes along that, and it's, hey, we're going to go from this point to that point to this point, you got to follow the clues. Like, who doesn't love those?
I mean, I think this definitely borrowed from that hype of the Da Vinci Code, right? Because the book
Was it after?
yeah, Da Vinci Code was not the movie. I'm saying the book. Pretty sure.
Oh,
the book.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Like,
the
that was
book
a film.
came out in the 90s, right?
Yeah, the movie was 2006, so the movie was after. But the Da Vinci Code.
I guess I didn't. For some reason in my brain, I think I thought that this was pre, and that might have.
originally published in 2003.
Oh,
But the
So
movie
I
might
think
have
the
been.
timing might have been around the same. Like, you think of when they're making it.
Yeah,
I don't think so necessarily. I think.
okay. I always thought that because I read the book. I don't know, right around before I saw this movie.
Yeah.
So I thought it was definitely borrowing the Freemasons and all that Knights Templar.
Yeah, I
stuff
think
was
it's
involved.
probably maybe some of the same conceptual ideas. But yeah, I have a hard. I would not believe entirely that it was straight up like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah.
Disney saw what was going on. They're like, Bruckheimer, get on it.
I mean, that's
Jump on
believable,
this.
but
Like all the true crime stuff after Serial. Like that became a thing, and then there's so many other really great true crime podcasts.
Dateline would like a word with you implying that Serial was first.
Right. Yes. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, this movie, I watched it probably in 2004 or 5 early on, and I remember just liking it, thinking it was
I saw it in the
kind
theater.
of definitely a Disney PG movie. But then a couple of years ago, I'm like, what movie can we watch with the kids? That's so. And as soon as I saw, immediately, I'm like, you guys are gonna love this. Amazing. Yes, it was, and it was so much better as a dad.
Did you watch it
showing
with
to
your kids, Johnny?
They were riveted. They were
Yeah.
all glued to the couch.
I'm so
See,
glad
all
to
of
hear
them.
that.
I thought
Yeah, mine
I
too.
thought Roman might be a little. I think I probably don't give him enough benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I felt like they were too young, and truthfully, for me, it was more when I could fit this into the schedule, and it was like
Sure.
at 10:00 at night I could start watching. So there was just no time to watch it during the day.
Yeah, so I made a concerted effort. Like when we decided to do this, I was like, guys, we're watching National Treasure, so I want to find a time when you guys can watch it. And so we watched the first one a couple days ago, and everybody was on the couch. They were all like cozied up, like we were all just sitting there watching.
Yeah, it's a perfect movie night.
Yeah.
movie.
And then
Family movie night.
last night we started Book of Secrets, and we got to like an hour in, and then it was getting close to bedtime. So I'm like, guys, we gotta pause and get ready for bed and stuff like that. But then we finished it today, and everybody, even Mac, who doesn't like to sit and watch movies, was like on the edge of his seat.
Where's the third one?
Yeah. And then, of course, Riley jumps off because there's a Riley character. She's like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
that's me.
Riley Poole.
And so, yeah, so they loved it. And, they
Yeah,
really
I don't think
enjoyed it, too.
I think I probably need to just assume that he can watch and would find any of it interesting, but I didn't. So
What did you guys think of? So I remember thinking that the second one was nowhere near as good. But then rewatching it this time, I'm like, it wasn't as bad. It's not as bad as the 36% Rotten Tomatoes that it has. I think it's a
no,
lot higher than that.
that's not fair.
That's not fair. But it definitely, they definitely just rehashed so much. They tried to redo the movie with just, okay, let's not make it the American Revolution. Let's make it the Civil War.
Yeah.
Instead of him stealing the Declaration, let's have him kidnap the president. So they had these parallels, but it wasn't, the addition of Ed Harris and Helen Mirren. Yeah, you like it. It's
Sure.
not, it's
Got to
nothing-
bump up your numbers somehow. Throw Helen Mirren in there. She works.
Everyone loves Helen Mirren, I
Right.
feel like, yeah.
I think the other thing that they added to it was, hey, let's do more of that globetrotting and go around the world type. Like,
Yeah.
let's go to Paris, let's go to London, let's go
Yeah.
to Virginia, do all these things. And I think, it worked because they tied it all together, and you can see, obviously, if you know history, like the influences the French had, and obviously the British and on American society. But, again, that's the only thing they were missing was the little, like, flight path that they used to show in the Indiana Jones films.
Yeah. Yeah, as they're circumnavigating the globe.
Right.
Absolutely. So and a little more of a far-fetched story. It just, something about it just didn't quite work as well as the first one. But yeah, that first one just really hit,
Yeah.
I think.
It's funny now that as I'm watching this, and I want to be involved in the movie and make sure I'm paying attention, but at the same time I'm just looking at like the cast. I'm like, ooh, Cinema Chain Game. Remember this movie? Like, remember who's
Right.
in this?
Ooh, John Voight. Connected with
Voight.
Helen Mirren. Great.
Harvey
You can do
Keitel.
that. Harvey Keitel, yes. Yep. I love Harvey Keitel. Pretty much in everything. He doesn't always do much, but he's always good.
Right. Does enough when he's there.
Yeah.
But then, and then, like you said, the second one is more of just hey, we're going to redo it, go and find something similar. So one of the nuggets that I pulled from the second one, which most people probably wouldn't, but so the chase scene in London where they're driving the car, Nicolas Cage is driving the car backwards. First of all, I called that out to the boys. I'm like, I've seen this done before better in James Bond when he's in Germany and drives the BMW. Tomorrow Never Dies. But then Ed steals a Range Rover from the valet, and the guy he steals it from is in another movie with Nicolas Cage and Ed Harris.
I saw the note already, so.
Yeah, because
What was it?
So he's the guy in The Rock, and he gets his Hummer stolen by Sean Connery in San Francisco.
Bruckheimer.
How did you find that?
I was like, that would be hilarious if that was the same guy.
You saw him and then you thought it was him?
Yeah.
And then you went back and checked.
And then I went back and checked.
And you verified it. Wow. That's a good pull.
I'm like, that'd just be too funny if it was. And of course it was.
Bruckheimer strikes again. Who's the director? John Turteltaub? Turteltaub? What else has he done?
National Treasure 2, Book of
Okay,
Secrets.
nothing else. You sure he hasn't done any of the the Pirates movies or anything like that?
So the
Seems
Pirates,
like it might be because that's a Bruckheimer thing too,
that's a
right?
Bruckheimer thing, but I think that one was initially Gore Verbinski.
Oh,
the
that's
first
right.
one.
Yeah.
So I know the name Turteltaub,
Right.
but I don't know what else he would have been in.
Yeah, he looks like a turtle top. Excuse me. He did Cool Runnings, I guess, and While You Were Sleeping.
As we speak of the Olympics.
And National Treasure 3 looks like it is popping up here.
Yeah, it's a
Phenomenon. Travolta.
Three Ninjas? Maybe he didn't direct.
Three Ninjas Strike Back? Or just Three Ninjas?
Just Three Ninjas, but maybe some of the other ones too.
Oh. That's another genre that could probably be revived is the ninja film.
He did the Meg recently.
Oh, okay. Statham.
Rush Hour TV series.
Ooh. Ooh.
That's coming?
No, he did
Came
that.
and went.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Came and went. I agree with you, by the way. Didn't know.
But yeah, so speaking of...
Jericho. Was that you?
that was Gary.
Gary. Okay.
You watched Jericho?
I did not.
Gary
Is that with
loves
Skeet
Jericho.
Ulrich?
I believe
Yes.
so. CBS show.
How did I know that?
It's great.
Why do I know that?
Well,
you watched it
that's
too,
that's
didn't
one of
you?
those things that just needs to go from my this thing, random things that I know.
That was in between both these movies. He did 2 episodes of Jericho. That's really funny.
I believe...
The Kid Disney movie.
That's supposed
Bruce
to be like
Willis.
one of the worst movies ever. Disney's The Kid.
6.1. It's
Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of North.
I don't know what North is.
Ed O'Neill.
North is Rob Reiner.
3 Ninjas with a worse rating.
Didn't I say 3 Ninjas?
Yeah, you
already?
said Three Ninjas. But
I'm
you
just.
were
I was
rated.
looking at. Sorry, I was just looking at ratings.
Oh, yeah, worst rated.
This is IMDb rating. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
gotcha.
worse than that.
So I wanted to look this up to see. Do you think Bruckheimer is one of the best or wealthiest producers
great
based
question.
on like how much his movies have grossed?
It'd be hard to believe that he's not up there.
I mean, what's he responsible for?
All right, so his top 10, and this is granted, this was written in 2022, so this is before Maverick. because he's also responsible for that full.
And don't forget Ambulance.
Was Ambulance his too?
No, Michael Bay.
Bay was.
Oh, it's Bay.
That's
Sorry.
Bay directed.
Damn it.
All right, so Beverly Hills Cop was $316 million. The Rock, $335 million.
Just so go ahead.
Prince of Persia, $336.
I found
crazy.
I found a
Prince of
list,
Persia.
Yeah.
and I have. You want to know? I have him.
Well, yeah. So
Go for your.
both National Treasures were over $345 million. Top Gun was $375 million. Bad Boys for Life, $426 million. Pearl Harbor, $449 million.
I got top 10.
And then National Treasure Book of Secrets, $459. Armageddon, $553. And then this is just a cop out, but the Pirates of the Caribbean series, $4.5 billion.
Okay, you want the top 10?
Sure.
Okay, he's not number 1, by the way.
Oh, I know. I've
James Cameron is 10th.
yes.
Just over $9 billion. Avi Arad,
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3, a little more north of that. Charles Roven, with the best film being The Dark Knight Rises, just shy of 10. Chris Meledandri, Super Mario Brothers by itself was $1.36 billion.
But he's also the guy that did all of the Minions and Despicable
He's at
Me.
10.5 billion. Frank Marshall, The Jurassics, 11 billion.
Wait, just so we know, this list is
Producers.
top 10 producers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of just pure money.
Financial. Bruckheimer's 4th, with Top Gun Maverick being the most. He's 12.3 billion.
I think that's just because a lot of the stuff was early.
Kathleen, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Kathleen Kennedy, Star Wars: The Force Awakens was the
Yeah,
highest.
you
for
have
her.
to have for inflation.
You guys haven't thought about this all the way through. By the way, number 1 is it's
I-
so far away from
Yeah.
the rest. It's Kevin Feige.
Oh, okay. Oh, that one plays.
Second place is 13.9 billion. Kevin Feige is at 30.3.
Wow. Who's second?
David Heyman.
Heyman.
Barbie is the highest for him.
Oh,
But so Barbie is his highest, but he's producer of the Harry Potter franchise.
okay.
So,
That'll do it too.
yeah.
And then you
he's
throw
big
Barbie on top.
I mean, this is why we don't get, indie art house movies anymore because, I think Matt Damon was on Hot Ones or something saying like, yeah, it just doesn't happen so much anymore. He was talking about Behind the Candelabra. He's like, I like doing that movie, but you have to make $100 million to even make any kind of money on it, and nobody wants to take a risk on that.
right.
They want the 10th Harry Potter movie.
Neil Moretz is number 5. Original film, is his. So the Fast and Furious franchise,
Okay.
the Jump Street, and Sonic the Hedgehog franchise as well.
Franchise.
Again, going back to The Offer, that show about Al Ruddy who produced Godfather, like it'd be fun. It'd be fun to be a producer.
Yeah, if you can afford it.
Put up your own money, right? No.
Could you just get like one of the lower level producer credits, where you're just like, hey, I'll throw a couple $100,000 in there, and then maybe just get my name out there.
Yeah, does that fall? Where are you, executive producer?
Yeah, that's the ones that they just give to anyone. I feel. Like.
Oh, executive is
Yeah.
the top.
Actual producer is just producer, but executive producer is like, yeah, you can be. We'll give you an executive producer cred, from what I understand.
They really sold that with the title.
You're right. I thought those were the ones that were giving all the money.
Yeah, I would have thought they were.
But fine, they probably put in some money, but just money. Like they don't actually
Right.
put anything together. Like,
Yeah, they're not grabbing artists or anything like that to
Right.
be in it.
Right. They're not figuring out who's writing it, who's starring in it,
Yeah.
they're not getting the director. They're just literally the money, and we don't want your creative input because you don't know shit.
Card, all right, I'll let you guys work.
I'm sure it's changed. I'm sure it's different too. That's just kind of like the joke, right? That you can give anyone that credit.
Yeah, I think it became that after a while.
With my Hollywood insider knowledge,
Yeah.
I'm dropping on you guys.
You're
here.
just spilling all the tea.
I love it.
Good thing
What
we
are
got
you
a tea
basing
set
this
back
on,
there.
Martin? I don't know. I read an article in 1993, and that's what it said. So
Another fun fact that I thought was the only fun to me is Alicia Coppola is one of the agents that works for the FBI. No relation.
Nicolas Cage is a Coppola.
I know.
No relation?
but no relation.
How is that possible? Yeah.
They spawned somewhere along the line. But yeah,
Francis Ford, baby.
a rando Coppola.
Just catch him out in the wild.
You talk about tidbits that I thought were interesting, Jelani. With National Treasure, one of the few movies where Sean Bean's character does not die.
Yeah. I was thinking that. Movies or shows.
I feel like I've heard that before, and so I was just looking around, and there is literally a list of 24 different movies and shows that he's been in, and he died and how he died.
So I can think of 3 that he's been in that I know he's died.
Okay.
So
That's not telling us anything. If you can think of one that he hasn't, that's more
I
impressive.
know.
Which is this. But-
So Fellowship of the Rings, he dies.
correct.
Yeah.
Okay. How did he die? Because
I don't know.
Stabbed by an orc.
I've only seen those
shot
movies
by an arrow, I
once.
believe.
Nah, close enough. I know he fakes his death. and
He's
then-
lying on the ground when Think Vigo's talking to him.
Is he
He's
in the
got a-
Patriot Games or which of the Tom Clancy movies is he in? I think it's Patriot Games
I was gonna say he
or
fakes
Clear and Present Danger.
he fakes his death, but then is killed in Goldeneye.
Shot.
He's 006,
Shot with arrows is definitely in Lord of the Ring.
and then obviously as Ned Stark.
Right.
Yeah,
Dies at the end of season
that
1.
one's obvious. Goldeneye, he was. Do you remember how he died?
Falls
That's
on
interesting.
top of the satellite dish.
Crushed by a satellite
Crashed by
dish.
the satellite dish.
Falling on top.
Yeah. Falls off of it, and then the thing collapses. On.
Patriot Games, he was impaled by an anchor.
Yeah. I was right. Patriot Games. It's been a while.
That's not a good way to go.
Yeah, all the earlier movies before Patriot Games, I had never heard of the movies, but yeah, it's pretty interesting because he and on top of that, they talk a lot about obviously with the secrets that are going on. They reference obviously how it was essentially the treasure was trying to be hidden from the British, with Sean Bean being the British in said analogy, which I liked. Well done.
Diane Kruger. You know she was in Wicker Park same year as this?
Hartnett?
Yeah, with Hartnett.
I don't know that I saw it, but I remember that movie coming out.
I feel like Kevin made that one a big deal for us.
Kevin Kent made that one a big deal.
Yeah, he's
No,
like, we should see this.
I feel like it was after. Well, maybe because you were still at Iowa with them. But by 2004, yeah, I feel like I was home, so I don't know. But that does sound like a Kevin movie. But yeah, I haven't seen it since then. But yeah, I'm a fan of Diane, and she's in Inglourious Bastards. I
Yes.
think it's probably the big one that she's known for.
For sure.
But
well, I
yeah.
think this too. I mean, this,
Yeah, and this, yeah.
if I remember correctly, she is or was married to one Pacey.
She was, I believe.
Okay.
I don't believe they are.
Joshua
Good job,
Jackson.
Stacey.
They're no longer together.
For a while,
but-
at least.
yeah,
During
but
his Fringe days, I think I remember.
coming out of Dawson's Creek, going.
Yeah, he had a
into-
moment where everyone loved him. What happened to him?
And he came back with Fringe. That was his
Yeah.
resurgence.
Yeah.
The
But
tank. Anna Torv.
Anna Torv?
Torv.
Yeah.
I just caught a TikTok today or yesterday, and it was just like a clip from the first episode of Fringe, and I was like, I watched it and then like watched part of the next one, hoping I might spawn a whole new show into my.
It's
into
on.
my,
It's streaming on Max.
I feel like
I don't know if I'm going to rewatch the whole show, but
right.
it's
I
not
want to
short.
rewatch it because it wasn't amazing, but it had potential. If they remade it and didn't have to do all the things that Fox had to do with like
Yeah.
reintroducing people to the characters each episode, because you just trust that people are following the story, then I think it could be like a really good show.
Martin and I had like weekly
Yeah, we would talk about it a
lunches
lot.
at Google to talk about
It
Fringe.
annoyed me. The tank. They always went to that sensory deprivation
Sensory
tank.
dep-
Like,
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. They did that like 4 times. Like, all right, enough with the tank. The
Didn't-
2 other cool Fringe science.
Wasn't there a point when they like went to an alternate reality and then brought
I mean, it sounds right.
the dad back?
Probably.
Yeah, I think that's where I think a lot of people got like
Yeah.
dumb.
Yes.
It was
they
like
did. Yes.
they went to the alternate reality and switched the
yes. They
characters.
switched the main guy from. He
Yeah.
wasn't crazy. He was more subdued.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're just like
And the
yeah.
travelers.
Yeah. The bald
The
guys
bald
with
guys
the hats.
that loved hot sauce. That's all I remember. But yes, it was a good show.
I randomly scrolled up on this Sean Bean death page
Yeah.
in the island.
You're deep in it. You're deep in the conspiracy theory of why he dies and everything.
In the island, he was killed, but his method of death was shot with grappling hook and hanged.
So I've never seen that movie.
I feel like I
Michael
did.
Bay?
Michael Bay, Ewan
Yeah.
McGregor, Scarlett
Scarlett
Johansson,
Johansson.
Jamin
Was
Hunsu, Sean Bean, and
Was it
Steve
written?
Buscemi.
Who wrote it? Was it our boy Alex Garland? Or?
This doesn't give me the writer.
I know he did The Beach.
I don't think Alex
don't-
Garland.
yeah,
wrote
Somebody's involved in that.
that. Michael Bay.
Yeah, maybe it's just him.
It was pre-drones though. Michael Bay.
Oh no,
Oh, Michael. Yes.
that's no good. Oh no, it's Alex Kurtzman and Robert Orsi who did Fringe.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dude, what are they? We really.
That's
If we
yeah.
knew what we were talking about, we would have really been on top of that.
they also
Did
did.
Alex Kurtzman do something else?
He did Transformers too.
Okay.
They both did.
Maybe that's
the
why I
first, I think they did the first 3 Transformers.
Probably when we did our lost episode on Transformers,
You definitely brought it up.
I looked. Yeah, I looked them up then, and I knew that name from something. But okay, that's cool. I don't know. Should I check this movie out? Who knows?
The Island.
The Island. Yeah. Probably not. Right.
I don't think it's a massive must on your part. But
Right.
So, just for clarification, and for those people that are be fact checking me, Kurtzman only did the first 2 Transformers, and then Star
fine.
Trek Into Darkness.
I think
I assume there's like 8 of those movies, so I can't imagine that any one person did all of them.
right. Even they get
He's
that.
involved somewhere.
Kurtzman's like, I'm good, guys. I wrote enough Transformers for someone else could try to make something out of this thing. So we mentioned at the beginning. So apparently there was a show spinoff called Edge of History, which I definitely did not watch. I don't know if I should. Didn't recall hearing much about it, but
Yeah.
We watched the trailer for it. It didn't look.
that's
I
like
think
Disney
Keitel's
Plus's
back
thing.
in it.
Oh,
So,
Keitel and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
oh really?
Yeah.
that's like what Disney Plus does. They take these things and then make shows out of them that I don't know if people can keep up with it. It's like I don't know which ones are good, which ones are bad. There's just a lot of them.
And also the score for National Treasure. Did you know, Martin? Did you know who did it?
No,
Trevor Rabin,
still don't know that.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame member of the British band Yes.
Ah, yes, indeed.
One of the band names I always hated.
Yeah, it's a terrible band name.
Seriously.
I believe he also did the music for Remember the Titans.
What's your worst band name of all time? Do you have one?
I mean, truthfully, that should be up there because it's really bad.
It might be. Yes. I wouldn't.
In
Even,
terms of like rock, like Hall of Fame member bands, that's got to be like really close.
how do you
to
feel
the top.
about like the city or like the state name bands like Alabama or Chicago or
I don't dislike
Kansas?
those. I don't dislike
Kansas,
those.
Dustin Hoyt.
Kansas?
I don't dislike those more than Yes.
America.
That's not great, but I still think Yes. If I'm
Very hard to
You
differentiate.
keep throwing these at me. Yes is sitting up on a perch
Yeah,
for me.
That's why I said it because I'm not sure that I could think of a worse.
Alabama plays for me. They're just they're good. But yeah, I don't know. There's there's so many band names. Like I'm sure there's probably a worse name out there, but
Toad in the Wet Sprocket.
I love that name. I think it's a great name. It's unique. You know where they pulled it from? I'm pretty sure it's from like a Monty Python sketch of a fake band name.
oh really?
Yeah,
Todd and the Big Headed Monsters.
Todd, Big Head Todd. You know what you're doing there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I like that.
I walked you right down the path though.
I'm like, I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, Big Head Todd. There's a guy that on TikTok that put together like a T-shirt of all the his favorite fake bands from TV shows and movies and whatever else. Like, what's the one from Almost Famous? Stillwater.
Stillwater.
Like they're headlining, and he makes it like a Coachella. He calls it Faux-chella. or used to call it. Maybe it's something else
Interesting.
now, but yeah. And I think it's funny because he's on like the second or third iteration because there's so many that you always forget. You're always like, well, how many could there possibly be? And he's got
a ton.
Daisy
hundreds.
Jones and the Six.
Daisy
are-
Jones.
are-
Yeah,
are now
they were
playing.
headlining this year at Coachella. I want to say, yeah, they
Sex bomb.
That's that's a really good idea.
So it's a great idea. As
Yeah.
soon as I saw it, I'm like, this is so niche,
That's-
but right up my alley.
100%. That's a really, really good idea. I like that. Good for him.
You could do like a fake Kane and do like fake films that were in movies or TV shows.
Wait, say it. I'm
So,
not
like-
following.
Like what's the one out in Utah? No, in Park City.
He's talking
Sundance.
about Sundance.
Oh, like
So-
a film festival.
Yeah, but then like all the fake movies that were
Oh,
well,
right.
Fauchella really rolls off the tongue.
I know.
Right. It works pretty well.
got to workshop the title, but that's
we could
for
find a
everything.
way to make it
It's probably not going to be Sundance.
nun
but you-
dance, not non-dance. I don't know. But yeah, that's not a bad idea. How many fake movies?
I mean, you'd have to do some work.
But we got to think of one. Is what I'm saying.
when
And-
you
and
said it,
got
I was
nothing.
like, am I missing something? Is there like.
Well, what's the movie they're trying to make in Tropic Thunder?
There you go. That's. I wanted one. We're a movie podcast. We have to be able to think of one fake movie, yes, and something like that.
I don't think it's that long of a list, but I could be wrong.
Fun fact about Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It's a fake movie from a movie called Sullivan's Travels. He wanted to make a movie called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which was a serious Depression era movie, and that's where they got the title for their their comedy Depression era
So
movie.
you couldn't. Could you use it?
No, now it's
Yeah.
become a real movie, yeah. But at the time, it was a fake movie for our fake Sundance Film Festival.
Yeah.
Nundance.
Nundance, yeah. I don't know.
Still
it doesn't work.
No.
We're workshopping the title.
The Fauchella is just a really good name.
Yeah. I think
I'm
the
just
reason
kinda-
I said I don't know, I'm not sure if he's calling it that or not because I think he may have gotten sued by Coachella for using
That
that.
would stop me too.
That would put a damper on things.
I mean, I'm sure he's got a nice little bump here, but I don't think it's probably enough to withstand a lawsuit from.
right. Like, I'm sure he sold like 200 T-shirts.
Also, fuck off, Coachella. Like,
Right. Like, let it go. Come on.
Like, have
Embrace it.
You
Run
don't
with
own
it.
that
yeah,
shit.
dude. You should be like co-sponsor.
Do you think they trademarked anything Cella?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Lollapalooza trademarked anything Palooza.
Yeah, it's just like you should be sponsored. You should literally have thrown money at it and be like, "Dude, here's our logo. Go nuts!"
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
this is
it's
way
doing
funnier.
nothing
You're
but-
not hurting people going to your festival.
Correct.
Yeah.
Fake bands.
You know what? I'm never going.
I've always wanted to go.
I'm
Not
kind
anymore.
of for you disappointed that you never went.
Yeah. No, the bigger disappointment for me is I've never been to South by Southwest.
Oh God, that is a disappointment for
Yeah.
you. That's a
I love
massive
Austin.
fail. Yeah,
I love indie music, and I've been wanting to go since freshman year at Iowa when I first heard about it.
that's a massive fail on your part.
And I was at KRUI on the radio station, and I was like, I'll get to go one year, and then just never happened.
Yeah, and that's really on you. You
It is.
dropped the ball.
It's full on. I take full.
I mean, life gets in the way. We're all aware of that, but
but life also finds
finds
a
a
way.
way.
So someday I'll get out there. But it also is like crazy expensive now.
It's changed.
It's just not.
You miss your window
It's
for
changed.
sure.
Yeah.
It's changed, man.
I mean, if I had gone in '99, that would have been awesome.
Right. You that
Amazing.
was your wheelhouse time.
Yeah.
Did you go to Lala this year?
Nope.
No. Didn't even try.
Didn't even try.
Dude, how about that Chapel Roan?
Oh God, I had FOMO.
I totally called that. Well, I didn't call it that, but I mean, like, I was going through a list with one of the younger guys in the office, and he is getting closer. He's still actually way too young to say this, but he was commenting on how he didn't know many of the people that were playing, and I'm like, yeah, my buddy always said, like, you got to see how far down you can go, because it used to get smaller font.
Yeah.
And this year it was all like the same font, but he's like, how far you could go down before you didn't know somebody. And for a while, I'm like, dude, I was 8-9 rows deep. I at least knew who people were. And, long since past the point where I don't know people that are, I don't even know some of the
Yeah, I didn't know
headliners.
some of the headliners,
Yeah.
but I knew her.
And so I saw Chapel Roan where she was, and I'm like, oh, that is crazy how low she is. I was like, that is going to be blow. That one's going to be a very highly attended show. I mean, what happened was another level altogether, but so awesome.
Yeah, it's very, very, very cool. Brecklin got to see her, man. Not at that, but she opened up for who did she go see earlier this year? whatever. She opened up for a different concert. Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh, I was like, how many shows your daughter going to?
She went to a couple, but she went to Olivia Rodrigo and got to see her a couple months ago.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so all her friends.
Well,
are
I'm sure
jealous now.
that actually massively helped her expanse, right? Like
Yeah,
a show
I
like
think
that.
TikTok more than anything.
Well, but I'm saying you're getting a ton of people who are going to see Rodrigo,
Yeah.
so it's like not that everyone's going to catch all that show, but like if you catch some of that, like she's clearly unique.
Yeah, but I think there's been openers for big artists for years, and nothing like this has ever happened.
But I'm saying it coincides with their songs being actually popular. I mean, yes, there are plenty of openers who are just not that good anyway.
Yeah.
But she's got she puts on a show,
Yeah,
which
puts
is
on a show, and the
saying
songs are
something at that
amazing.
age.
The songs are so good.
So yeah, pretty cool.
That was one of our best tangents ever.
What last one? Thoughts on the band name King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard?
It's great.
Yeah.
That's a real one, though, right?
Yeah,
that's
but
a real
yeah.
one.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I was trying
You're
to
down
find
the wrong rabbit hole over there.
No, I was trying to find the
Yes is the worst band name.
the playlist or the set list for Lala this year, but
Sex Bob-omb is the best fake band name. And I don't know, King Gizzard
King
King
Gizzard,
Gizzard
and the Lizard.
and the Lizard
is
Wizard.
just the name.
Yeah,
But it's pretty good.
and yeah, I think it's just
But it's like the B sharps. It gets less funny every time you hear it. It's funny the first time, and then it gets less funny every time you hear it after.
There was a funny tidbit about the Book of Secrets. They discovered Disney that when they were planning on shooting at Mount Rushmore, it was going to mess up. I guess there's a local school that does prom at Mount Rushmore every year, and they were going to overlap. And so to make up for it, Disney paid for prom and transportation for everybody to Rapid City to do their prom there. Door prizes and scholarships for the valedictorians, all so they could shoot Book of Secrets at
Rushmore.
on their schedule. Which I was like, damn. When you
Good
get endless money, I suppose.
I would have just let the prom show up there.
Yeah,
Right?
dude, we'll be on the other side.
Let them be extras.
Extras, right?
How long did they shoot at Mount Rushmore? I mean, there
It
was
didn't feel like that long.
yeah,
Have you guys ever been?
twice.
Oh, twice last year.
Yeah, once as a
I've never
kid
been.
and once after college.
Feels like
when I was
something
traveling.
you should drive by and see it, not go specifically for.
It has a bit of a look. There could be more to do. Like you could go hike.
There's
up,
less.
but I mean, it has a little bit of the vacation at the Grand Canyon. It's like, all right,
We've seen it.
because you're not that close to it. So
right.
it's just off in the distance,
And
like
you're in a lesser Dakota.
a lower anyway. It's impressive, but yeah, like everything you've seen on TV. I mean, it's not like there's a Richie Rich style version where you can like get up into the ear of Thomas Jefferson.
Go behind his eyeball.
I think you just unlocked a memory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I haven't thought about that in a while.
I mean, it's definitely not a movie we talk about very often, but
Richie Rich.
Richie Rich,
Yeah.
real thing. If you know, you know. IYKYK.
As always, the following conversation never took place. We need you to find Charlotte. Go to the Library of Congress and subscribe to Our Film Fathers wherever you listen. Thanks, and save it for the pod.